Since calisthenics is blowing up, it's never been more important to gain knowledge and information, be able to interact with other athletes in order to not only put yourself ahead, but help grow the sport as a whole. In this video, I'm going to be going over a call with another young athlete, community owner, coach like myself, and giving you a ton of value through that call, and I'm literally going to be putting it all for free. Just to give a little bit of a concept of our levels, I am a now 17-year-old calisthenics athlete, but when I was 16, I was able to do 8 handstand push-ups in a row, 67 in a total session, 1-arm pull-ups, no dip muscle-ups, 50 kilos for many reps on weighted dips, 50 kilos for reps on weighted pull-ups, 60 kilo 1-rep max, 9-degree handstand push-ups, straddle planche, front lever pull-ups, all that kind of stuff I'm getting into, and I've actually got pretty advanced over these past 1.5, 2 years that I've been doing calisthenics. And Orpheus, the guy who I'm talking to in this video, also is getting to a pretty decent level. He's been training for a year and a half, something like that. He's doing 60 kilo dips, 40 or 50 kilo pull-ups. He's learning his first handstand push-ups, and he's more into the street lifting aspect and powerlifting programming type training versus me, who trains more skills. So it should be a pretty decent high-level conversation. Most of it's just the first beginning is us just getting to know each other, because I think it's very important for us as athletes and us as content creators and all that type of stuff to give you the type of mindset of creating real relationships over just transactional information exchanges, if that makes sense. Without getting further ado, I'm going to stop glazing myself. He has his free community in the description of my video, so you can go down if you're more of a beginner, or you're getting into street lifting, or you just want a community to be a part of. He has a free 150 kilogram PDS protocol, so pull up, dip, squat protocol for guys getting into street lifting, free in the description. I have my paid program, which teaches you skills and programming and all that stuff, so mine's more of a complete version, but mine's paid. His is more so for beginners, just to get people into the sport. So different communities, different programs, but both of us have one. Check them out. Links in the description. Without further ado, let's get into the call.
Waiting. Okay. Recording.
I was gonna say, for the actual video, can I just get a quick one?
No, we have to get a thumbnail. No, this should be the thumbnail.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's
All right,
go.
you ready? Hey, all good.
Okay.
All right, so let's start with journeys. Who are you? What have you done? Where did you start? Give me all that kind of stuff.
Let's start from ground zero, spawn points. Greece. In Greece, in a small city in Greece, where I grew up until 4 years old. Yeah. And then I moved to Qatar at the age of 4, so my Greek is still kind of 4-year-old level, although it has gotten better. Still can't write. Yeah. My reading is okay though. So moved to Qatar, went to an international school here for 1.5 years or so, then got homeschooled for 3 years, because here in Qatar you can kind of do anything with schooling. For example, if you don't go to school, it's not the police is gonna come to your door and ask why you're not in school. Yeah. In Europe, that's definitely the case, but in Qatar, many kids Qataris basically don't go to school because they're anyways gonna get some job in the ministry. So I grew up here, got homeschooled for 2 years, and then I moved to a Finnish school.
Yeah,
and I'm here since. And this is kind of fun fact, side note here, but I experienced the Iranian bombing on Qatar.
Oh, wow.
Then I went to Thailand, where the Cambodian Thai sort of not war, but because Cambodia basically doesn't have a military, they're kind of flip-flops and stuff, but they don't even have an air force. So yeah, they kind of border clash though. And yeah, then came back and then got some Israeli missiles as well. So
well, you kind of skipped over that fast. What was that like, being in the bombing? That's crazy.
Damn, the first bombing was actually insane, because I was downtown. I mean, the first bombing, this was almost 2 months ago, and I was downtown at the time. Basically, it was Iranian ballistic missile strike on the American base, but it was completely staged. The Americans knew, the Qataris knew, everyone knew, and also the Americans took out their all the planes and stuff. and allegedly like 1 or 2 only hit because most of them were intercepted. But there was like literally no one in the base, so not much to strike.
Welcome to the West.
Yeah. And so I was downtown with friends. This was like maybe 5 p.m. Here, the sun sets at like 5 p.m. So the sun was setting, and we're getting out of this mall because we were literally like a massive group. Because we just had like middle school graduation, and we all went to this indoor theme park. And as we were getting out, like people were like, we were out for a bit already, but people started screaming, and we started feeling stuff, and looking up, because I don't know how, like, if because you felt it like on the floor, like super hard, like doof doof, and people say like only 2 like actually striked, but I think more actually hit, because you wouldn't have felt that from like just interceptors flying up. So yeah, everyone was outside. People were screaming. It was insane. And there was like legit no warning, no air raid siren or anything. You could just see the interceptions like in the sky. Honestly, that was crazy. Yeah. And there were like unbelievable amount of people downtown, like just recording. Everyone was recording. Yeah.
What were you feeling during that?
I mean, I don't know. It was kind of crazy, to be honest, because I sort of knew, to be honest, because I just look into geopolitics, and like since Qatar is like obviously involved, I look into it, and I already knew that like Iran had threatened like strikes on American bases, and then the airspace closed like 2 hours before the strike. So the airspace closed, and then I was like, okay, something's probably happening. Then there was like an hour before the strike, some citizens of like, I don't know, France, UK, and the US got SMSs sent. Like literally no one else though. Only those who held the passports. They got an SMS to like stay indoors and stuff. So that got shared a ton on Snapchat. And since I was with my friends, everyone was like, we were in the theme park, but at the same time, everyone was like on Snapchat looking at this like warnings and stuff. So I kind of knew something was coming, but it was honestly more than I expected, because like you could like feel the windows shaking, like hear them shaking. You could like see stuff shaking. It was kind of insane. Yeah.
That's insane. That's genuinely crazy.
Yeah, it was crazy.
Yeah, I live in the United States, so we don't experience any of that crazy shit.
Yeah,
like
yeah.
our worst problems is like, I'm a woman, and like their penis.
I mean, like, I guess like violence is kind of a problem.
Yeah, well, it's like that everywhere.
Here, there's like no violence, because you're gonna get like deported and sent out immediately.
That doesn't happen to us.
But it's not like an actual country. It's like kind of a
my
company
school
running
got
it.
put on lockdown 2 days ago because somebody had made a threat or something, and I think they may have had a weapon. I'm not sure. We didn't find out, but we were put on lockdown. We were all in the gymnasium.
What does that mean? Lockdown.
What do you lockdown? Like so you have like an active assailant drill, which is somebody is on the school like with a weapon, with something they're not supposed to have, a harmful chemical, something like that. And then you have a lockdown. A lockdown is like preventative. So I think they were on campus, but they weren't like inside the school. So you know how like you have the gates, and then you have like the parent pickup loop and the bus loops and all that type of stuff. They were in that area. They weren't actually in the school, but they were like in the area.
Okay, gotcha. So there's like a fire alarm, sort of like alarm?
No, it's like a light beeping, and we know it's a code blue or whatever. When it's blue, we know it's like someone's on campus. We may or may not die. Like
that's insane.
The thing is, in America though, that's scary because we have guns everywhere.
Yeah, that's crazy. I mean, I only saw photos of like the and like selling guns in Walmart. That's insane.
Low key, me and my friends had a good time though. We were all doing front levers and high pull ups. like the coaches were like, "What are you guys doing? Get under something." We're like, "Oh, it's fine. We're in the gym." Like, who shoots up a gym?
Yeah, that's good.
But that's awesome.
Yeah, that's sick.
That's crazy.
I mean, then there was the Israeli strike, which was more chill.
Mhm.
But getting bombed by like Iran and Israel in like the same year, like
That's terrifying.
I mean,
Yeah.
Iran striked like Hamas leaders.
Mhm.
Well, they wanted to. They basically got like one Qatari and like a couple like lower level like Hamas organizers or something. So they didn't even get like the main guy they were targeting, and they hit like literally 15 minutes away from my house. Like I have a friend who's maybe like 2-3 minutes away by car,
That's crazy.
and one of my friends literally like lives one house away.
I could never imagine.
It's insane. But
Yeah.
I mean, it was kind of terrifying because you could just like hear it, right? Again, it was like the windows shaking. It wasn't like as loud or like as as you didn't feel it as much, but since it was like in a super residential area, like bro, there's a school like walking distance away, like maybe 2-3 minutes walking. There's like embassies and stuff. And like anyone on like skyscrapers could see the like a massive like amount of smoke.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, that's
That's
kind of it in Qatar.
that's really crazy.
Yeah, it's kind of insane.
It's very different how different countries work, because I feel like in the United States, Canada, like more Western countries, it's more of an internal conflict. Everywhere else is more external. Which
Yeah, sort of
yeah,
true. Yeah,
that's crazy. There's just going to be violence
yeah.
regardless, isn't there? That's insane.
What do you mean? Like as in here or in general or what?
As in general, because if your country gets to the point to where it's safe enough and nobody's attacking it and your military is strong enough, like the United States, it gets to the point to where people create their own problems and they're like, oh well, the fucking I'm
Yeah,
gonna shoot
yeah.
that type of
I
thing.
mean, no, like no, not to like shame you personally, but the U.S. is like in on like everything, so
Yeah.
it's super hard to say like, okay, this country's good, this country's bad, because everyone's like doing
Oh,
stuff
exactly.
behind the scenes. And like for example,
Completely.
bro, the Hamas leaders who got striked here were convinced by the Americans and Israelis to have their meetings here and to live here so that they can easily negotiate with them. But at the same time, they bombed them when they were negotiating. So I don't
I
know.
know
Yeah,
nothing about, so I can't comment on that. But
yeah, yeah.
anyways, to keep with the stand, because I don't want to get into politics because I'm gonna get flamed because I don't know nothing. To keep on track of calisthenics.
Yeah,
This
yeah.
was all like super recent, right?
Yeah, I mean, Iranian strike was like 2 months ago. Israeli strike was like not even 2 weeks ago.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
That's absolutely insane.
But let's go back to calisthenics.
Yeah.
Um, I started working out like super inconsistently 2 years
Yeah.
ago. Wasn't so into it. I mean, just like doing some push-ups with my friends. I wouldn't even say I
Mhm.
was working out. Then
Yeah.
1.5 year ago, I started working out at home. That was like 13 and a half. So I started working out at home, like
Mm.
secretly, obviously, like everyone else, because it has
Yeah.
to be
In the
secret for some
bathroom,
reason.
holding your breath while doing
Yeah,
push-ups.
yeah, yeah. It's like trying to hide that you're breathing. Yeah.
Your mom's
Um,
like, "Why are you sweating? Like you're in your living room."
yeah.
Like, "Oh, I was masturbating."
Yeah, yeah. That's right. Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, I started working out at home.
Mm.
Just the goal at the time was to get better than my friends at push-ups. That was the ultimate
I
goal.
completely relate to that, bro.
Yeah,
That's
yeah,
100% true. What
yeah.
was your PR at the time in a row?
At the start, it was like maybe 8 or 9, but as it went, I got better than them. Like we had the school thing, and
Mm.
I did like 60 or like 50 in 1 minute.
My dog. Fuck yeah.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, not full ROM, but it
Well, of
was
course.
yeah. But
Yeah.
that was the like I would say was phase one, and during
Mm.
that phase, I had a lot of like I like this and I don't like this. I like this, don't like this. Like I started doing push-ups, then I started hating them, so I bought a pull-up bar and stopped doing push-ups. You know? So yeah, I had like some weird phases, and then I was like, wait, don't I have to train everything? Right?
Yeah.
At the time, I didn't know like the back muscles existed. So it was like I thought I was training pull-ups and it was like targeting biceps. So I was like, oh, this
Yeah.
feels cool, you know? So
You
yeah.
know the back muscles exist.
Yeah. So, I bought the pull-up bar, then started taking pull-ups more seriously. Got into like more endurance style work. I think I showed you, maybe not. Do you know K Bogues?
You've told me about him, yeah.
Yeah. That guy was like the first sort of calisthenics guy I watched. So he got me really into like getting super clean repetitions. And that's why I wasn't training explosively. That's why like my explosive strength is still lacking, even though like
Yeah.
my pull-ups are pretty strong. But I'm working on that. I think it's easier to like gain explosiveness after you're strong.
What do you mean you're not explosive? You can do high pull-ups to your hips already.
No, but I mean like it's further back compared to my pull-ups. Like I can pull up one rep max like 40 kilos, but like explosive muscle ups are still lacking. You know?
Well, I mean, how much do you weigh? Like 50 something, 60 something?
Nah, 68, yeah.
68? Oh, I thought you were way lighter. I thought you were short like me, my bad.
How much do you weigh?
I weigh in between like 64 and like 63, 65, something like that.
Okay.
I'm like 163 centimeters, 5'4". So
Okay.
I'm obviously like half Thor Julius Mortensen, like me and him. We see eye to eye.
Yeah. just
But,
half
I
of
mean,
it.
Yeah, I mean, you're pulling 40 kilos at your weight, like you're pretty explosive.
Yeah,
I would say
okay, fair.
you have more. I would say you're like disproportionately explosive compared to your one rep max. I would say the opposite, to be honest. Yeah,
Maybe.
because like being able to pull
Just
like I have one guy that I coach, Dennis, who I think is like 80 something kilos, and he's pulling 40 for like 3x5 or like 37.5 for like 3x5, whatever.
okay.
And he's not able to pull that high.
Okay,
So
interesting.
I would say proportionate to body weight, the one rep max is about the same, but he can't pull as high. So I would say you're actually pretty decent off in that.
Okay, interesting. Okay, well,
Yeah.
going back, like I trained a lot of these sort of like slow bodybuilding style pull-ups, not necessarily for bodybuilding, just following like K Bogues and him talking about getting your form super clean before you start doing regular pull-ups. So I got to like pretty strong, like 12 body weight pull-ups, but like pretty slow, like lockout hold for like 1-2 seconds, go down, hold, dead hang, full dead hang. And so I got pretty strong on the base of pull-ups, and then when I started weighted pull-ups first, and I didn't do dips for a while for some reason. I don't know why. Just another one of those things. Like I thought pull-ups were better. So I just did weighted pull-ups for a while, and I did like kind of a mistake. I'm not sure if it's like such a mistake, but I just immediately started like going super heavy, like doing like 3 sets of 3, 3 sets of 4, 3 sets of 5.
Yeah, you got excited instead of progressing.
Yeah. But even then, I wasn't using that much weight. I was literally using an actual belt, and then like a duffel bag.
Like an actual belt is in one that holds up your pants.
Yeah. That was my weighted calisthenics. So I used that up until like 16, 17 kilos on dips. Like afterwards, like when I started doing weighted dips, and then it started breaking. So I was like, okay, I gotta get one. And that was winter. That was December, where I went to Poland, and for Christmas, like I met up with my whole like extended family, like cousins and stuff. And there I got my first like protein powder, and I also got a dip belt. We were doing like Secret Santa, and so that's what I asked for. And yeah, that was cool, the dip belt. And since then, since January, like January 5th, weighted calisthenics has been kind of the priority. I mean, it really started being the priority kind of in March. So yeah, and now I can do 140 kilo pull up, 1 rep max, 60 kilo dip, 1 rep max. 40. Yeah. 60 kilo dip.
Yeah, 60
that was
kilo
yesterday.
Dip. I don't know if I could do that right now, to be honest. I haven't dipped in God knows how long. I probably could, but it wouldn't be clean at all.
Okay. I mean, it was like depth. It was like here.
So yeah, I don't know if I would probably hurt myself if I tried. Lucky.
Okay. I mean, that like so far this block I did was more focused on like 1 rep max, so I think that's why I was able to get it up.
Yeah.
I squatted 110 for 3 reps like 2 weeks ago before my deload, and
110
today's
for
gonna be
3?
my PR. I mean 110 on Smith though.
On Smith. Okay. So like,
Yeah.
what do you want to say, like 90, 95 regular?
I mean I did a lot of regular squatting, so I'd assume like probably around 110.
Okay, so you would say it's basically the same
Yeah.
for you. Yeah.
I mean similar, yeah.
Similar.
I probably wouldn't
Gotcha.
be able to go as deep, but like I would still hit depth.
I got you.
Today's gonna be my 1 rep max. I'm pretty sure I'm gonna get like 120, 130 about. But I have like a weird, like my 1 rep max is always a lot higher than the calculators, than the 1 rep max calculators. Like, I did.
Probably because you're peaking, to be
Sorry.
honest. Probably because you're peaking when they do those studies. It's just like, okay, go.
Ah, okay, maybe yeah. I mean, yeah, that's true. Doing the deload and stuff for sure helps. But even before I was doing the full-on deload, like peak week deload, then 1 rep max, I was still like getting higher than that. Like for example, I did 41 kilos on dips for 3 reps during my peak week for 4. Sorry, for 4. And then the estimated 1 rep max was like 54. Like that was the highest, and I hit a 60 kilo dip. So
yeah, it's because you're peaking probably.
Yeah,
you're
yeah,
actually
I'd assume so.
adaptation.
Yeah. Then unlock the handstand push-up in 3 days, just from weighted dip strength. That's pretty sick. Less than 30 attempts, literally less than 30, maybe less than 20 even.
Fuck you. The first session I learned it, it took me 42, I think.
Okay.
But that was after learning L sit to handstand.
Okay. I mean, bent arm handstand or like this? Like actual
starting at the top, going down, and then coming back up.
Okay. So you basically did a handstand push-up.
No, yeah, I did. But when are you talking about L sit to handstand or regular handstand push-up? The regular handstand push-up was just like this. The L sit to handstand, it was like the 90-90 thing. So like here.
Yeah, I get you. Yeah.
Yeah. But right. So that's sick. So you've got.
And now I'm working towards like no dip muscle ups and front levers. I'm about at like I can hold the one leg front lever for I think about like 6 or 7 seconds.
The brain rot that my friends provide me with just made me giggle a little bit at the 6 or 7 comment. But anyways,
6 or 7. Okay.
Yeah, you've heard about that.
Yeah. But like now I like went to hang out with my friends. I mean, okay, I'll get into this later, but I'm gonna be moving from guitar. But that's gonna be too much to talk about right now. So I'm basically not going to that school right now. I'm going to an online school, to the school I was going, the finished one. And so I met up with my friends, and they're like, "When is the last time you played video games?" And it's like I'm there. And then they ask me like, "Are you caught up with like this brain rot term and this one and this one?" I'm like, "No, man, I'm not."
He is.
I don't know, man. Too many of them at this point.
Yeah, I sometimes get asked about like, "Oh, are you excited for the new Fortnite season to drop?" And I'm like, "Dog, I haven't played since like season 5. We're on like chapter fucking 5 or some shit. There's been like 50 seasons."
Yeah.
That's awesome. So I actually really appreciate you telling that story about the whole bombings and things, because that's a reality check for a lot of people. I would love to leave a video personally just to give that to like you specifically, like as you as a creator and you as an individual. So that's dope.
Yeah. Bro, I was literally in the middle of recording a video when it was like boof. And I was like, okay, let's not record this one.
This guy's about to die.
Yeah.
All right. My story, unfortunately, isn't nearly as cool. Well, I don't know if you would call that cool. Isn't as what's the word I'm thinking about? As exciting.
Okay.
Born and raised United States. I normally don't tell people where I live, but fuck it, I live in Florida. I've lived in the same house entire life. Haven't really traveled that much outside of like later in life. I mean, first like 1 to 10-ish years was relatively normal kid. Like I would do activities like sports and things, but it was just like all recreational.
All right.
I remember I actually did have a bit of an obsession with pull-ups and like rock climbing and things. So I did that for a little bit, but nothing like crazy. It would be like, you know, when you go to have, when you're younger and you go to like a gym or a certain like amusement park, like once every like 2 or 3 months or like whatever, just as like a fun thing. You forget everything you learned before, but because you're like bigger and like you went through puberty more, now you're stronger and like, I am good. You have to, like, once every 3 months, that type of thing.
Got you.
I'll go rock climbing and hang out with my friends. Like sometimes we would throw the football, whatever. Like football is in like American football, not soccer.
Yeah, okay.
Football, however you
So
pronounce
when
it.
was the first time you like travel outside the US?
Never.
Never.
Never. I've
Wow.
only ever been in the United States. I've been
That's
to
insane.
what, 3 states now, I think. I've been to Minnesota, which I'll get into the story about that, California, which I'll also tell the story of, and then Salem, Massachusetts, which that's kind of irrelevant to the story though, just for like travel and like tourism type
Okay.
stuff.
That's crazy, man. I can't imagine not having gone out of my country.
I mean, the United States is pretty cool, to be fair.
For sure, yeah, agreed.
I mean, we got like, you feel me? We got like Chinese girls and stuff who own boba shops, like.
Yeah.
Anyways.
Yeah.
I know.
That's a W on the wall.
Right around when like the coronavirus had hit, and it was this huge like a thing that happened in the United States and different places in Europe and the UK and all that type of stuff about how I was like killing everybody and we all need to die. I'm a very, very social person just naturally. Like I've never been like as a kid, I've never like my mom would have to force me to like order my own food to like teach me how to talk to people, like that type of thing.
Okay, yeah, I got you.
But I was never like opposed to talking to like friends or going up to them first or like hanging out or setting up hangouts or any of that stuff, even when I was like really little. And when COVID hit, it had gone to the point because I was doing online school. I didn't have any of my other friends. All my other friends, like I stopped talking to because we're all like 10 and we're all kind of weird and we were just branching out. Like half of us didn't even have phones. I think I might have like halfway through COVID. I don't remember if I got a phone
Okay.
after or during, but that's irrelevant.
We had a whole like gaming association during COVID.
Yeah. I actually remember a few of those clubs forming. I wasn't a part of one, but I had some friends that were.
Okay.
My 2 best friends in 7th and 8th or 6th and 7th grade were both girls that I had never seen the face of. So one of them was Mayoshi for a year. I forget which one came first, and one of them was Genevieve for a year. One of them had a cool name because Mayoshi just sounds cool. The other one was obsessed with frogs. And we were like best friends, and we would play Roblox and Minecraft and all that type of stuff like 10 hours a day. I remember throughout this time, I was like, I've not to like suck my own balls or anything, but I've always been like good at school without having to try for it. Like I've just got good grades.
Yeah, I'm literally the exact same.
Yeah, completely. And it bites you in the ass because now you need to learn how to study and you have no idea how.
Yeah. Just kind of do everything in the lesson. It's like, okay, I kind of remember this, and you just
and then you get like you don't really care.
Yeah.
But yeah, we went through that period. I was like friends with those people, and I remember like really flunking out of school. Like I was like straight A student, all advanced class, and then like I dropped down to like literally an F average, like the lowest you can possibly get, just because I wasn't doing it. I was playing Minecraft like 10 hours a day, like 12 hours a day. That was a period when like life was lowest. You always hear about like these self-improvement journeys of like I masturbated like 18 times a day. That was literally like 10, 11, 12, and it was just getting progressively worse. This is like the key point of the story is what's next is I remember one day, and this is when like I had just learned like self-improvement existed. Like I thought it was kind of like cringe or whatever, like, meditate, that's gay. And I remember there was one instance where like I was in the kitchen and I was doing dishes and I was like just chilling out like regular day. I had headphones on. I was probably like scrolling on something at the same time while doing things like this type of thing. And I remember I went to put a knife away, and I remember having like a really deep, like it would only last in like a couple of seconds, but I remember having like a really deep, like intrusive thought of like, if I were to like cut my wrist open right now, like I would actually prefer that. Like, I would prefer not being alive in this instance. And it was like like I can't give you like the level of detail, and obviously this is gonna go
Yeah,
on
I
the
get
internet
you.
and stuff. But I kind of paused for a second. I got like this. This is what made me like start believing in God. So I became like an agnostic during that time. So you believe in God, but you have no idea like which one you're picking, or you don't believe like any of the main religions, like follow any, or you don't follow anything specifically.
Okay.
I had like this godly, like spiritual feeling of like, wait, what am I doing? And from there, I swear to God, it was like a 180. Like it was obviously slow. Like I still masturbated like fucking 4 times a day, but like
Black. The screen turns black. You know.
the screen turns black. Until next time on Dragon Ball Z. Anyways, but I gotten really deep in like self improvement and like the red pill type of thing.
Okay.
I still have old journals. Like I was a psychopath when I came to think. I would literally have the same journal format, like that I never wrote down, that I never like thought about like consciously. The same journal format of like me writing 10 times, tomorrow is another day, tomorrow is another day, tomorrow is another day. I failed
Wow.
today. I'm not good enough. I need to be better. Like it probably fucked me up a little bit, but it was a thing that like boosted me forward. And it was like that, I swear, for like weeks and months, like every single day.
Yeah.
I was sleeping on the floor. I was meditating like 30 or 40 minutes a day. I was journaling. I was doing all this stuff. I was exercising. I didn't know how to exercise. It like you mentioned, like I would just be on the thing of like hundreds of push-ups a day. Like that's all it was. And complete 180 from where I was before. And it makes me kind of happy thinking about now, because sometimes I like reflecting on it, about like the journey from then to now. And
Yeah, for sure.
the first 2 years was like the biggest boom. And so I was 12 when like the story happened, like when the shift started. I was 12. Around 14, I got back into school. I learned like how to socialize, how to talk to girls, all that type of stuff, and got into like the more social aspects of self-improvement, which like improved my life a ton. And I completely forgot to mention, this was like one of the keyest parts of my life. I played volleyball for 2.5, 3 years. So around 12 is when I started playing volleyball, and I sort of got that change, which saved my life as well.
Wow. Okay.
Because I watched the anime Haikyuu, and it was like this really short, like awkward dude who like was just passionate about volleyball. And you know, when you're around passionate people, like it makes you like that. And if you're around nobody and there's like this one anime that's like the person you inspired,
okay, got you.
just like you, like it changes your life. And
So
I was watching.
that really invested you into volleyball?
Oh yeah, for sure. The only I can tell this story a ton of different ways, but I'm just going to keep it short for the sake of the actual like calisthenics conversation. But I think what had happened is I was doing a lot of depth jumps for like plyometric exercise. Like I was doing hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of jumps a day. And that actually damages your growth plates. And my theory is that in my wrists and in my like knees and hips, my growth plates are like 4 years older than they should be, like at the time. So I was like 13 or 14 when I found out that I was done growing. So I've been this height for a couple of years now. So I've done like that and all that type of stuff. My theory is that because I was doing so many jumps, I kind of damaged my growth plates, because my arms are long as shit. Like I have the wingspan. It's supposed to be like 6 foot, which is what I was supposed to be, because my dad's tall, my brothers are tall, and all that type of stuff. My height charts that I was supposed to be tall. It just didn't work out like that. But I had played volleyball for years, and I got to the point to where I was at like a national level player. Like I was literally playing in nationals. This isn't official, but I had literally like the unofficial fastest serve for my age group. So like I would jump up and I would like smack the shit out of the ball. I almost got a golden ball. I was like halfway to. So in volleyball, the point system is like it's 3 sets of 25. So like whoever gets to 25 first wins. And I remember there was one tournament where I had served like 11 or 12 times in a row, and each time was an ace. So that means I scored. A golden ball is when you get all 25. And most people, they don't even get to the point to where like they get 1 serve a game or 1 ace a game. Like if you get 1 ace a game, you have like a high like scoring percentage. I became known like around my area and around even in other states, like guys who would remember me, like when we would travel and things. I became known as like the guy who was like, fuck, when I would serve. and I would purposefully target the best defenders. I loved more than anything like making people feel bad for sucking. So I played volleyball for a few years.
That's sick.
And then you hear online like, oh, men need to learn how to fight. So I got into like boxing and wrestling and all that type of stuff. And it was kind of like amateurish. Like I wasn't really going to a gym or anything, but I had like dedicated more time to that. And around 15, I kind of got into wrestling, like more sophisticated, and calisthenics at the same time. I was like training handstands and like weighted pull-ups, like weighted calisthenics, but mixed with like regular weightlifting. Throughout that time from like 12 to 15, I was doing like, do you know who Mario Rios is?
I've heard of him, but I don't know.
It's like bodybuilding, but athletic training at the same time. So instead of doing like a machine press, it would be like a bench press or dumbbell press, for example, just like more
gotcha.
type of fitness. I was doing that for a while, which is why like upper chest is so big and shoulders pop and all that type of stuff, because I was like trying to look sexy, which
gotcha.
anyways. Yeah, I was doing that for a few years, and I transitioned more into like weighted calisthenic stuff just because I thought it was cool. Like Ian Barsegal was sick and he could do cool things and all that type of stuff.
Yeah.
I got into wrestling, wrestled out of state for a little bit, injured my shoulder, decided I wasn't going to keep wrestling. I wanted to go all in with calisthenics beforehand, but I was going to like wrestle out of state at least once first to get the experience. Then I was going to quit. While I was out of state, literally the last day of a camp, it was 4 days of 5 hours a day, like in a different state, like wrestling with some of the best wrestlers in the country, because all of them would go to Minnesota in order to like train with each other. And I sucked ass compared to everyone. I'll fully admit that. So this is like the least humble flex I can give. I got destroyed. I had done all that, and when I got back, I'd injured my shoulder. And when I say I would pick up like a 2.5 pound dumbbell, and my arm would go like this on the way up, like it was horrible. There was zero stability. Took me a couple of months to fix. I had to do like PT stuff with like the external rotations and like the upside down kettlebell and all that type of stuff. It was just annoying. Got back into weighted dips, weighted pull-ups, all that kind of stuff. I couldn't train like really any upper body, like seriously. Like I would just plateau like crazy because the shoulder it would shake. Like there's nothing you can do about it. Got into calisthenics, been doing it for like a year and a half now. I've got to nearly 70 handstand push-ups in a session, 8 in a row, 9-degree handstand push-ups. I had like a 1 second full planche, just like my dick for people who said it didn't count. 8-second straddle, no dip muscle-ups, weighted muscle-ups with 20 kilos. A 1 rep max of 60
weighted muscle-ups, 20 kilos. That's sick.
Yeah, without training, by the way. Just had to mention it. It wasn't competitive before. Wasn't a ton of camp. 60 kilo pull-up, which probably higher now. Haven't tested it in a while. 50 kilos for 3x10 on weighted dips, 102.5 kilo bench, but more than that now because it flew like crazy when I was doing the taper week that you
I saw it. That's sick. Yeah,
1-arm pull-ups, all that kind of stuff. So I progressed to decent
there. Yeah, that's amazing.
That's my journey. I like how I think the difference is kind of interesting, how it's I don't know how to describe it. I think that have you heard the Alex Hormozi? Do you watch Alex Hormozi? I keep mentioning. Yeah. Have you heard him say the like number one determinant of like wealth and success is the zip code that you're born in?
No, I haven't.
No, the quote is the number one determinant of success, like by studies and all that, is the zip code that you're born in. And what I find super interesting about like the differences between our story is I think I'm very fortunate to be born in the United States is because I didn't have to go through a lot of shit that you did with like the moving and the traveling and literal bombings.
Yeah, got you. Yeah.
And I think it's very interesting how your story includes all that and mine's more so just like my athletic journey. So I actually respect the crap out of you.
Thank you, man.
Like even more so just because I would never know what that's like. And if I had to go through that stuff, I don't know where I would be today. I don't know if I would even have the motivation or like the drive to keep going past all that and not just sit there and be like, oh, well, I'm just in a bad location, like all that type of stuff. So
I mean,
I respect
there's also more factors I won't go on, I talk about on this call.
Yeah,
right?
There's tons of stuff that I'm sure you haven't even mentioned or told anyone. I completely understand.
But I didn't talk at all about my like you mentioned completely all the sports you did. I didn't mention anything, so I'll just like slightly go over that. At 9 years old, let's say starting off from six years old, I started dancing, like street dance, hip hop. And by age 9, I was doing a decent amount.
Greek and you can dance. You must get so many women. Oh my god.
And completely unrelated to dance, but my mom did like quite a bit of yoga, so I decided like didn't have like much to do, so I literally just started a yoga teacher course at 9. Okay,
That's
so
awesome.
that was like 200-hour yoga teacher course. Learned a ton about anatomy. Learned a ton about yoga. Literally
That's
a qualified yoga teacher. And
teach me, bro.
yeah,
I'm stiff
that's
as
sick.
fuck.
Yeah, yoga is sick, actually. Legit, yoga is a lot cooler than you think. Then by age 12, I started taking dance seriously, and then during that time, I also did some swimming. I reached like in Qatar, I did like for second or third place on freestyle 50-meter. That was like 23 seconds or so. So pretty fast for my age, like one of the best in Qatar. At like 12 years old, I think I was training U12, like was the age group. Then at 12 years old, I also like kind of dropped swimming, started taking dance more seriously. I had my first competition at age 13. So that was like an international comp in the UK. It was a team competition, and we were competing in U16, but beginner category. So because we had some like 18-year-olds in our group, so like the average was kind of U16, and so for that one we got first place, which was kind of sick. That was really sick.
That's
so it's
awesome.
like a whole like team choreographed thing, like 2.5 minutes, like full on like you don't think dance is intense, but like super intense stuff. Like
No, I believe you.
yeah,
100%.
yeah, crazy stuff. And then
Anyone
next
who says
competition,
like a physical activity can't be made intense is retarded. You
yeah,
can make walking a workout if you walk fast enough.
yeah, yeah, basically.
Yeah.
So yeah, then the next comp was the next year in at 14. So, but we had to go U18 because we had one like who was 19, and then the rest were 13. So kind of like big gap, but we were in U18 intermediate, so big jump from U16 beginner, and then we still got fourth place, which is pretty sick actually. I think that's actually more impressive than the first place, and that was honestly a really difficult one. And at the same time, I also got into U16 at 14 years old. I had to go to U16, not to U14, just because like I was like slightly too old. Like I think it was like a couple of weeks.
Yeah. I had a
And
French friend that do that. He was my age, but he had to play with like the 17-year-olds, even though
yeah, stuff like that. Yeah. So I was in U16 freestyle, advanced though. So like the hardest, like U16, and I was there at like 14 years old. I only like I didn't get past the first round. No, I actually did. I got to the second round, but then couldn't go anymore because it was just like they were absolutely insane. And like my freestyle isn't that good, but that was it. And then was there any other sport? Yeah, badminton in school. I played some like badminton tournaments, like got first place, but it was like school tournaments, not anything like national or whatever. I played some basketball as well. Didn't play anything special.
I am shit at basketball. It's not even funny how bad I am.
Okay, yeah. I mean, I'm kind of like at a decent level on all sports, I would say.
Yeah, I mean, I can grab like rebounds and stuff just because I jump kind of high and I'm like, what's it called, scrappy. But that's kind of
Okay.
if someone's tall and I'm like,
yeah, I got you for sure. Yeah, I mean, I jump pretty high as well. Like I was almost able to dunk, but yeah.
When it's kind of ridiculous. When I was 13, I had a 39-inch vertical.
What? That's crazy.
Asian. We got that.
That's
I got that, yeah.
insane.
Lower body Japanese, including the penis, and then the rest of the body like white guy. It's perfect.
It's such a like opaque split.
Anyway,
it's like they have flags, or how do you know? Your body parts have flags, or how do you know?
Yeah. No. Anyways, before this gets too racist.
Okay.
We have is there anything you'd like to go over calisthenics related, or do you just want to start?
No.
like having people.
Let's hear what you got to say.
No, I was gonna say we can, since Matt's here, we can kind of do like a group coaching call thing.
I think Matt's starting his training soon. Like he was on a deload.
Okay.
But
Matt,
let's go over some
you wanna-
topics. Let me see what I have noted
You want to
down.
go over topics? All right, never mind. Orpheus said no. Blame him, not me. Matt, I tried.
He's gonna shower. He said 4:22.
Oh, did he?
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
he's naked. No, wait. Bring your camera with you.
This call is getting weird, man.
You were talking about flags on my wiener. What do you mean?
Didn't specify. I got a good one. More general topic.
You get a message from me later. Brandon Maloney sent image.
Spoiler.
Spoiler. Open when you're alone.
Anyway. This is what I wrote for this one. I sent you this in our notes. Check the chat.
We have notes.
So, and I sent it in the messages on school. But this is kind of this topic.
What in the fuck are you talking about?
I wrote the super abstract. This kind of just came to my head. But what I mean by this is like taking on big habits, big goals, while having implemented all your like little habits, like using like literal examples would be like, let's say using music or not using music, like taking caffeine before your workout, or using like what's it called, like elbow sleeves for dips, stuff like that.
Yeah.
And literal like actual habits that you do, like if you want to reach a specific goal, right? Is that goal too small and you're just not using enough of your like army, right? You don't have your army behind you, your habits. So you're just like fighting too small a goal. Or are you taking on like too big a goal where you're not even like the main guy, like moving the weight, for example? Like that could be on bench press using a slingshot. Like when does it go too far? You get me?
That's actually a very interesting way to put it. This is why I like having conversations like this, because I would have never in a million years thought of that, but that's very interesting.
Yeah. It's kind of
I like the mindset of just do what you like. If you want to become the world record holder on bench while using a ridiculously heavy slingshot with wrist wraps and sleeves and knee sleeves on your elbows, like that's completely cool.
Yeah.
I think you need to be very objective though with this is my goal. And I'm thinking more of like a social media / like interacting with other people perspective. Like, don't say you bench 100 kg if you're using a billion slingshots. And
yeah, for sure. Got you. Yeah. Like El Campeón.
Yeah.
yeah. Absolute legend.
You go this far down.
Yeah.
Regarding the habits, can you give me an example of what that would look like? So you're saying, just to clarify, you're saying the habits are like the army that's behind you, and the goal is like the thing you're attacking. You need an army big enough, and you need kind of like a standard for your life high enough in order to be able to actually attack the goal and succeed at it.
Yeah. But the main question is like, I mean, not a question. This is kind of my theory that if your goal is too small, right? You don't even have any army behind you. You're fighting like the goal like with a sword. But if you have like, you want to go against like a big goal, right? You want to go against that big army with your massive army so that you can conquer that goal. Like literal habits would be like all the like the self-improvement stuff, just having like a good mental health, waking up early, not playing video games, like actually having a life outside like your main thing, and being able to be a like genuine literal person outside of your like sort of niche.
Yeah, I think a lot of athletes who isolate themselves would perform better if they could have a mindset that allowed them to not isolate themselves in the way you're
agreed.
talking,
Yeah,
like
completely.
Can you phrase it a little bit differently? I'm still not quite understanding what you're going for, I think. I don't want to start talking and then just waste time because I'm answering.
If you pick too small of a goal, right? Let's say that would be like a 10 kilo dip, 1 rep max, let's say. And you don't go to the gym that often, right? That's a small goal. Okay, you don't go to the gym often. You don't have good habits locked in, but then your goal is like, let's say to reach like a massive dip, right? Like a 100 kilo dip, and you have to like lock in all your specific habits and reach it by this specific date, and you optimize literally every single thing. You go into like your sleep, and like you track your sleep specifically. You track your like whatever REM sleep, this that. You go into every single detail. Maybe use like elbow sleeves, right? So kind of the whole thing is making sure that you stay as the leader of the army and not falling down and becoming like a chief or like, a lower rank. Because if you're using a lot of like benefits to help you towards to reaching your goal, you're kind of falling off the leader, right? That's what I'm trying to say. And like, let's say, how could I phrase the question?
So you're kind of saying how would you say how hard should you attack a goal is essentially the question.
Yeah. How much to put
your life around it? How much do you sacrifice in order to hit it? How much do you put
exactly?
In
yeah. Well said.
Like I said before, I love the mindset of just do what you like. If you would rather be able to dip 200 kilos than have a relationship with people because you're just like meditating 8 hours a day, like getting your mind super focused on pure recovery, like that, which nobody in history is ever going to do. Well, maybe someone in history, but nobody that we know is ever going to do.
Yeah.
It really is dependent on, one, if you can handle it, and two, if those are the sacrifices you're willing to make. Because if you'd be cool with getting a 200 kilo dip a year later instead of a year sooner, imagine like 10 years from now versus 11 years from now. But at the same time, one, you have relationships with people, the other one you doesn't. At the same time, you actually really enjoy the game that you're playing, like video games, for example. You actually enjoy it, and it's not like a weird, like autistic thing of like staring at the screen like a retard.
I mean, I don't know who enjoys it at this point, but yeah.
I know people. A lot of girls that I've talked to like genuinely enjoy it. Like when I play, I sometimes do like every couple of months. Like I have a girl, like my ex-girlfriend who I used to be with. We had a Minecraft world, and we would actually like really enjoy our time, like genuinely like laughing and giggling. And that's more so because it's interactive. I'm cool with video games if it's like with people and it's people that you like. I don't play them still because I don't like playing games with the people that I'm friends with because they also usually don't play that often. So we're like, Fortnite and we're all just dying the whole time, like pissed off. But it really depends on how much you're willing to sacrifice and how far you're willing to go. I mean, that's kind of the basis of the question. Recently, I've been in a period because for most of my life, I talked about like the first two, like in the beginning, I talked about like the first 2 years of my self-improvement journey. I was like violently attacking the goals. The next like 2 years after that were just kind of like coasting through, and I would still make progress, because I have like that improvement mindset, and those 2 years gave me a really good base of just like understanding of, this is how you improve. Sleep well, eat well, whatever. Like you get to a point in self-improvement to where you kind of like know everything, not like in a
I got you.
You know how to sleep better, 1 hour before bed, dim the lights and do all that type of stuff. You kind of understand that, but it I forgot what I was saying. My mom had walked in. Hello. Well, can you take me back to where I was, please?
You're talking about like all of the self-improvement stuff, all the different habits, and how you kind of know everything.
When you know everything.
You get to a point to where you kind of are at a decent enough level to where like you know how to sleep, you know how to eat right. Like you're not going to learn anything like crazy that changes your life at that point. Recently, I've gone to the idea of like more aggressively attacking goals. So before, like I was coasting. In the beginning, I was attacking. In the middle, I was coasting. Now I'm getting back to like attacking. Like, okay, I'm centering my life around this thing. I think the easiest way to be able to do that is just always have it in mind. And what I see a lot of people do is they trick having something constantly in mind with only doing the one thing. And that's their way of constantly putting it in their mind. So what I mean is like if you're trying to get really good at basketball, for example, like I'm shit at basketball. Let's say I was trying to get good. If I was trying to get really good at basketball, what old me would have did and what 99% of people would have did, or 95% of people, whatever you want to quantify that as, what most of them will do is they stop all other sports. They won't go out with friends because like the walk is going to mess with their recovery, or the bike ride, or the run. marathon or the sprints or any of that type of stuff. They might reduce their lifting because, it's slightly less optimal because this one person on YouTube who does an athletic trainer said, don't do this. I can only train 3 times a week. Oh, I'm preseason right now. I can't be doing hypertrophy training. I'm gonna explode. They stress themselves out. They'll sacrifice, like, they'll be watching, like, most people don't do this. Most people, when they say, I'm reviewing game tape, they don't actually. Okay. I've been a national level athlete before. I've never reviewed game tape in my life. Like, genuinely. A lot of people, even if you're like reviewing game tape and like studying what other players did, trying to get better, they'll do that at a time to where they're sacrificing sleep now because they're addicted to it. And that they have it in mind so much that they really want to have in mind. They can't. And people always talk about balance and like self-improvement. Guys are like, balance is gay. You need a balance in the way to where you're balancing it. You're balancing things, not to where you're balancing good and bad habits, but you're balancing the good habits.
Yeah, exactly.
You kind of get what I mean? And I think what would benefit a lot more people is always keeping the thing in mind and finding a way to do that, but without only doing the thing.
Okay. Agreed. Yeah, completely. I mean, this whole thing about where you talked about reviewing gameplay to the point where you're losing sleep. I think that's a form of, like, I'm not sure if I'm using the word correctly, but mental masturbation.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. I think you know exactly what I mean.
It's guys who will watch a podcast about sleep at 3 a.m. and they wake up at 6.
Yeah.
And they have an hour left on the podcast. And they're like, oh, but I'll do it tomorrow. And then they watch another podcast on sleep.
Yeah. I mean, I've done this, like, I did that a lot, right? I'm not gonna say I'm like some expert who always like had the good habits locked in, but
for sure.
I tried to like implement stuff as much as I could. Like, I see people, reading, like, I'm gonna read like 50 books this summer. Like, what? How will that benefit you? Read like 1 or 2
books in your entire life.
Like, read 1 or 2, right? And then try to like implement them like as autistically as possible. Like, max out the potential of those books. And then once you like really actually feel ready with what you've learned, then move on to the next book.
Yeah.
You get me?
A lot of people try and like volume masturbate, we can call it.
Yeah.
They'll see big number and they'll think, I need to do that. Like, the people are like, I did 10,000 push-ups today. Like, did you really fucking do anything other than get better at push-ups and feel through your shoulder? Like, did you really do it?
Yeah.
For muscle growth, for strength, for literally push-up endurance, it would have been better if you did less, unless you're going for like most of the day. Then I guess 10,000 would be cool. But if you're going for like most of an hour, 10,000 is probably too many. I can't think of anyone who can do fucking 10,000 push-ups.
I mean, like, the only person who like does that and is still respected is like David Goggins and like 2 other people.
But it's David Goggins.
Yeah.
It's really weird how the human brain works, because I like bringing up the 80-20 rule like you do in your program, actually, or your community, whatever you want to call it. I'll call it program just because it sounds more official or whatever. But I really like that you added that. But I really like that you added that, because so many guys will get into like the nitty gritty, like super hyper optimized details, when at the end of the day, it's train in periodized fashion. It's not that difficult. Do hypertrophy style training, then strength style training, and then peak. It's not that hard. It doesn't really matter the time frame or the specific exercise up until you learn.
Like,
when
do you take your creatine?
Mom, I need 10 grams. New study set. But yeah. And not a single video on the internet can even give you videos. To me, are more so ideas and actual like solutions. So what I mean by that is like when people say do a specific exercise, a specific program, the better you get at something, the more you realize it's hyper specific to you or the individual, because there's more nuance involved as you get better at it. There's no difference between somebody who's been training for 3 years and somebody who's been training for 30 years, other than nuance and experience. They know basically the same shit. Maybe the person who has 30 years, who is like a doctor or whatever, will know like more like hyper details, like, the myofibrillar, but that's not going to help you in actually getting stronger 99.999% of the time. It's the experience and the actual time put into the thing. So when you see people make these videos of like, 5-3-1, I hate 5-3-1 so much. It's the gayest shit. I had a guy who had messaged me, and this is when I started coaching, and I was doing a lot of stuff for free. I had a guy message me like, yeah, I've been doing 5-3-1 for the past year, and I was like, oh, cool. Has it been working? He was like, no, I'm the same strength I was last year, and I'm like. And he was like, and I was like 365 days ago year, like 4 months ago year, because those are two very different. He's like, I think it's been around like 60 weeks. And I'm like,
that's insane.
I swear, I gave him just like a random program, and he started progressing. And I was like, bro, you dumbass. But anyway, you didn't think about changing something. Why? Anyways, besides that point.
I mean, I think like a really big thing about this is like these stages kind of self-improvement / working out is you have like, first, obviously you have like big tragic thing, right? Number one. Number two, you have like aggressive, like self-improvement, like kind of like monk mode stuff, right?
Yeah.
Where you like literally dedicate everything, and like super angry, like if this one thing messes up, right?
Yeah.
Then you kind of have this
period. I haven't. Again? Have you done a monk mode period? I haven't actually done one.
I mean, I did the. I don't know if you saw Hamza's like Adonis protocol.
Yeah.
Like the whole like cold shower, journal, meditate, whole like thing. Eat the frog.
I tried it.
I mean,
I was already doing like individualized habits, and that's the thing. Over time, you get more specialized to you. So I was doing different habits.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I mean, that was like my main thing. That was first, and that's how I got like so many like papers on my wall, like the whole, almost like the whole wall was filled. But
I instantly know you're a Hamza fan if you have stuff on your wall behind you.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. So I think you have this aggressive like improvement period. Then you have this coasting kind of period, where you've done all the self-improvement habits, you feel pretty good, and you kind of like big ego. You go like big ego mode, and you think like, okay, I kind of improved on this stuff. You feel like good about yourself because you finally got out of like whatever happened, and you sort of you don't completely get off the habits. You don't completely get off the whole self-improvement thing. Like someone asked, like you're still on self-improvement, but I think that at that stage you kind of like fall back a little bit. Like you're let's say your improvement was going like pretty linearly. You kind of like start, Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. When I was before the last 2 or so years, I think that's the stage I was in of like, I'm on self-improvement. I'm already like as good as I'm going to be, like whatever, like and that type of thing. And the improvement wasn't as aggressive.
Okay. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. Finish your point. I didn't mean to interrupt you. Sorry.
Yeah, I think after this coasting, you have like realization phase. Where you realize you're like actually like horrible at what you're doing. Basically.
You mean like, when I see any advanced athlete online?
Yeah. Like you get this little like check, and you're like, okay, yeah.
Yeah, me when Samyak posts.
yeah. Basically. Yeah. Like the realization, right, that you're not as good as what you want to be. And then I think like the realization sort of thing was just seeing like other athletes being like way better than me, and like the numbers being like super incomparable, or like seeing people like this was like a while ago. I wouldn't say this was my realization phase, but seeing people on like Hamza's like old school, like super old school, not old you get me. Old school community, right? Like at like 14, 15, making like tons of money, like thousands of dollars per month. I'm not sure if those were like faked or real, but that was like kind of like starting my realization phase. And then I think when I like really started to realize was when I'm like an athlete now. Like I dedicate my life to calisthenics, but still like also social stuff, and trying to make my point here, trying to put it together. And then basically realized that I needed to start like coaching people and helping others on how to do the same thing. That was like honestly content creation. That was what it was for me. And like a bit before that was like the actual realization of that I'm not good at I'm not good as good as I want to be.
Yeah.
How were those phases for you, would you say?
I agree 100%. Just like 2 and 3 might be swapped, going from angry to like the ego to the whatever. Like those can always like shift. I would say it's more like mini phases and like huge, like definite phases.
Yeah.
But
like many phases are short and intense.
Yeah. I think that it's weird. I don't really have like an internal philosophy when it comes to those things. Like you were saying before, like you just have the desire to improve and help people and whatever. The mindset, and this came around the same time where I had the mindset of like more aggressively like attacking the goals. I've been obsessed with the concept of just like winning. And I don't know where that came from. Like I can't even define that for you. If you were like, what does winning mean? I'd be like, oh fucking no, just like doing stuff. Like that type of thing.
Yeah.
And it's really weird because like over the past 2 years, I never had that. And then all of a sudden it's like over the past maybe couple months, like month-ish, like it's switched hugely. And like I've really wanted to like grind and push hard and all that type of stuff. When before I didn't really care. Not that like I didn't really care. Honestly, I was probably more disciplined.
I had the same like the coasting to realization phase sort of thing.
Yeah, it just didn't have like the same feeling and effect. You kind of know what I mean? You when you were younger, first getting into like training and self-improvement and all that type of stuff, you really did nothing, but you felt like super accomplished and like you did a lot of like let's go like testosterone surge, and then when you kind of get better, like that feeling goes away for a little bit. I've recently been getting that feeling back, and it's so awesome to be able to have that.
Yeah, for sure. I felt something super similar, honestly. Super similar.
Yeah, it's just kind of weird how the phases work. I completely agree with you.
Yeah.
I've come to realize, and I'm going to be giving you like a full breakdown of how you can meet other athletes, how you can interact with people, how you can meet them in person and online and all those different types of things. There's 3 different types of relationships that you can have with someone when it's just like calisthenics related. So you know those friends how like if you didn't have the same hobby, you guys wouldn't really talk to each other. I'm going to be starting with that, and then hopefully one day you can build a deeper, like more intimate friendship with that person to where you can literally like meet your best man at like your future wedding, for example, just from doing calisthenics. Like it's crazy. Me and Orpheus are becoming like best friends. It's like if he watches the video, like Orpheus, I got you, G, like, my dog. Like it is crazy, like the relationships that you can build just from like online stuff and meeting people in person, all that type of stuff. And you can genuinely meet your best friend by joining an online community like I have with Orpheus or Orpheus has with me or whatever. And there's 3 types of relationships. There's a student-teacher relationship, there's a student-student relationship, and there's a teacher-teacher relationship. Essentially, what that means is just breaking it down generally is you can either have one person who's substantially more advanced and one person who's more of a beginner, and the more advanced guy kind of takes the beginner like under his wing. He gives advice, like he helps him out, whatever. If you're watching this type of video and you're like super into calisthenics content, you might have been on the inverse end of that. So you've been the teacher, you've had like people under you who you kind of helped. There are student and student relationships where 2 guys who are kind of on similar levels, even if they're like really high level athletes, they're still on similar levels and they discuss their training. They discuss this idea versus that idea. What if I did it like this versus like that? Oh man, you should try this because this helped me because I did what you're doing now before and it actually like it kind of messed with me. Like you should do it this way instead. You kind of get what I mean? It's a more interactive relationship. Then you have teacher and teacher. These are the guys who are branching out and teaching others, and they teach each other how to teach others. So what that would be is like me and Orpheus, for example, we're both coaches, we're both content creators, we do like the educational style, like self-improvement, like masculine, like calisthenic stuff. Me and him, a lot of our conversations are student and student, but it can shift to teacher and teacher where we're thinking, okay, how can we give a student, someone who's like way below us, enough value to where they can boost up in progress and that we can actually help them and make them progress faster. That's the difference between the different relationships. And you need to understand where you are at with other person, and you need to interact with them different. If you're a student going up to a teacher, you need to be a lot more humble. You don't really give like advice to them because they know way more than you. You need to be able to show more gratitude and appreciation. All that stuff's really important for the other relationships. But if you're trying to get with someone who's a higher level, kind of glazing them a little bit is like the most helpful thing. If you read the book How to Win Friends and Influence People by it's not James Clear, it might be, I think it's like Dale Carnegie or something. I might be thinking about a different book. I'll put it on screen. How to Win Friends and Influence People. You kind of realize that a lot of relationships are the same. You try and find a genuine compliment that you mean, not trying to like suck the person's butthole or anything. You find a genuine compliment that you mean. You try and get in close with them. You maybe invite them to do a thing. You maybe try and like help them in some way. So if let's say like Matthew's lap, for example, was looking for a new dip station. If I had found a dip station that actually is like super high quality, like to Zlat standards, and he couldn't find one and I sent that to him, he would like me substantially more than if I would just like, oh, get the Gornation dip system, China. There's a big difference. Being able to be useful to someone who's more advanced than you is super important for creating a relationship with them. Now, student framework would be still a similar thing. You still try and provide value to each other, but that would be more mutual. With student teacher, if you're the student, you're kind of expecting something greater than what you're giving, which makes sense. They know more than you. They're a higher level than you. They're objectively better than you, and they know more than you. So you're expecting, or at least hoping, for something in return that will kind of outweigh the value that you give and the value that they give. And the thing is, they like you enough to where it's not a big deal for them. Like them giving away, like, oh, do dips like this versus like this, that's not a huge tip for them. That's not like their secrets, and they're not spending hours like writing a program for you. It's small stuff, but it's stuff that makes a difference in your training because you aren't to that level yet. It's easy stuff for them to explain, but difficult for you to understand. Student and student is more mutual. It's like a friendship. It's you and your friend are on the same level of muscle ups. So both of you can do like kind of chicken wing muscle ups, for example. You and a guy can both do chicken wing muscle ups. Let's say you get to the point to where like a couple of weeks later, they're still kind of struggling, but now you're more consistently able to pull over the bar. You tell them, hey man, I saw that you were kind of struggling with this and you've been on like chicken muscle ups for a while. I actually tried doing this exercise or this cue where like I pull my elbows out at the top. That actually helped me a ton. Like you should try it. If they try it and it's beneficial for them, then they're going to be like, oh shit. Then they might see something that you're lacking and that they're better at, that they might go, hey, like I saw that you did pull-ups like this. Like you pull a lot with your back arch instead of like flaring your elbows over. Try it like this. Think about like getting your elbows back, but with your forearms vertical. That cue might add 5 or 10 kilos to your pull-up. Think about like how beneficial that would be for both of you. And the thing is, you guys need to relate on other things. Like me and Orpheus, for example, we're getting to the point to where like we're really good friends and like we talk basically every day, every other day, and like we have like pretty in-depth conversations, which I think are the most important things for a friendship. Is that we basically just talk about our hobbies, we talk about life, all that type of stuff. But when we communicate, we always bring something to the table value-wise. And I think that's what a lot of people are missing with like regular friendships, is that they'll have a friendship like in person, for example, will be your best friend for like 3, 4, 5, 6 years. And then randomly you guys just stop talking. Can you relate to that? Like I can relate to that perfectly. I've had best friends for years that we stop going to the same school, or they move, or maybe I lose their number or whatever. And you guys just don't talk for years. That's because you guys enjoyed each other's company. You were both funny as fuck. But the value wasn't there. There was no need to be in that friendship because they can get ha 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 ha. They can get laughs from other people. So you need to be able to create a sense of value for that person and for each other. And the thing is, that's not going to happen instantaneously with everyone. Some people don't understand this equation. Like you and me understand this because I'm explaining it to you, and you're probably like a higher IQ, higher attention span individual than the average person if you're watching up to this point. But the thing is, so many people don't actually follow this, and they'll expect so much in return and give nothing back. Those are the types of people you don't want to be friends with. You want to find the type of person that is willing to give you more than they're receiving. Not because like you're selfish or like some weird reason, but because the fact that you want to be able to give also. You both want to be givers because that's how you build up. If one person is constantly taking and one person constantly giving, then only one person is benefiting from that friendship. And that's bullshit. You need to both be givers, and you cannot both be takers. You need to both be givers and takers, but you can't both be takers and you can't both be givers, because if you're both takers, then neither of you will get anything. If one of you is a giver and one of you is a taker, then only the taker gets something. And I misspoke before. Both of you have to be givers. Both of you have to provide each other value. This is a student-student relationship. Teacher-teacher relationship would be branching out from calisthenics when it comes to other things. So both of you are good at calisthenics, you talk about training, whatever. Let's say you're getting into coaching or like educational content creation or whatever. maybe you two know a relatively similar amount. If you're both doing like content creation and you both make money online, if one of you guys is at 1K a month and another one is at 20K a month, the 20K a month guy is doing something drastically differently than the 1K a month guy, objectively. And the thing is, with this teacher-teacher relationship, it branches out into other things. And that's the most important part, is that you need to be able to provide value in multiple things now. And teacher-teacher would be a accumulation of ideas. So student-student, how we talked about before, was like, I did this thing, I tried it, try this, and it might benefit you. The teacher already knows that that's an option. What the teachers discuss isn't, I tried this thing and it benefited me. The teachers discuss, okay, I did this thing, it didn't really work for me, but I had 50 other people, because I coach or I do like content creation or whatever, say that this thing actually did work better. You're trying this other thing, which is cool. If you think it'll work better, that's completely fine. But this might work, this other thing might work a little bit better than this one, just because like the context of your program, or like what that one injury you had said before, like it gets a lot more complex and nuanced. And it's two high IQ, high intellect individuals who are kind of communicating back and forth. And they're trying to, instead of sharing ideas, they're merging ideas. And there's a very big difference between that. Sharing is you have one object and another object you transfer over. So person one, person two, both have an idea, they switch. They constantly give each other an idea, they go back and forth, they're providing value for one another. Merging ideas would be you each have one idea, and then you mix it, and then you find the nuance within it. And then you make some modifications to both ideas. And then at the end, once they're fully merged, they split again. And you have two like knowledge bites of each thing. If you think about cells, like in biology, like this is going to sound a little bit weird of an example, but this is an analogy that my internal GPT came up with. When you have cells, when they go through mitosis, they split and then create a perfect copy of the parent cell. So you have a cell up here, it goes through like mitosis or whatever, goes through like the whole like 9-stage process, whatever it is. But when they split, it's two of the same cell. So it creates energy, but it's two perfect copies of itself. So instead of having one, you have two, and they're the exact same. That's kind of how ideas work. You mix the energies of both ideas, and then once they split, you have two perfect copies of each other. And then you both understand, okay, this is how we do the thing, this is how we go about the thing now. Referring back to the internal GPT, this is how I like to describe like being funny and learning how to socialize. If you don't know, I have an unfiltered channel, or I talk about like some online business stuff, but I also talk about like socialization primarily, just because I'm super interested in all of that. And how I describe to people and how I kind of coach people through being funny and making friends and all this type of stuff is you have an internal chat GPT. So you have like an internal part of your brain that just comes up with thoughts. You aren't actually the manufacturer of your thoughts constantly. You're the person who modifies them. This is why people who are on steroids and like pharmaceuticals and like different types of drugs have crazy thoughts, because they're not the ones in control of it. They're the ones editing them. And the thing is, you can't edit a thought fast enough to where you have a thought and then you change like a complete 180. You kind of have to wait for them to generate. You will find out eventually after doing this and after doing like tons of, basically just like mindfulness meditation is the easiest way to like understand this. That's like the only actionable step I can give you, just meditate more. When you have this internal GPT, just say the thing that it is you want to say. Say the first thought that comes to your head. This is how you be authentic. And over time, you will learn what works and what doesn't. You're probably going to look like a dumbass to some people originally. And obviously, if you think of like some crazy racist shit, and the guy's a dude you never met before, and like he's a brown guy and you're a white guy and you're like N-word, you probably shouldn't do that. But what I'm saying to you is your internal GPT comes up with thoughts that it thinks will work well in the situation. So just say them. And don't be super autistic about it. Don't be like, oh, was this my first thought or my first thought? Don't be weird about it. Just say one of the first things that comes to mind. Say the thing that when going through like the editing process of like, oh, I have 3 thoughts. Which one should I say? When going through the editing process, whichever one, like at a first glimpse, you're like, oh, let's do that one. And then you'll get either positive feedback or negative feedback. The negative feedback where teach your internal GPT, okay, don't say that. It's literally like AI training, like artificial intelligence. Your internal GPT will go, okay, don't say that. I need to say something else in this circumstance. Now, when you get to that circumstance, you'll say something different because you'll have the memory of, oh crap, when I said this thing last time, I looked like an idiot, or like the person didn't laugh, or it was awkward, or I offended them, or whatever. You need to just say what it is that's on your mind. Because the thing is, if you think that you're consciously coming up with these thoughts, then you're dumb. Because I've been talking for probably the past 10 minutes, maybe a little bit less, maybe a little bit more. I haven't thought of a single line before I've said it. I've just been going off the dome, and I've been speaking, and I've been trying to be as coherent as possible. And I'm able to be that because I practiced a ton in the past, because I've allowed my internal GPT to modify itself. So that's all for that one. That's how you be funny, and that's how you be authentic. Next thing, lesson number 3. This is going to be hilarious. Give them money. This is rich coming from me, a guy who's like, has my own paid program and all that type of stuff. But it's objectively true. If you were to pay me, if you were to pay someone like Matthew Slatt, if you were to pay Philip Soley, if you were to pay Samick from We Get Better, if you were to pay Super Clarkson, who's another like super advanced athlete, if you were to pay Orpheus, if you were to pay any of us, I guarantee you we would like you more than if you didn't. Because you're giving us value. We talked about the value exchange before. You're giving us extra value, monetary value, that we appreciate and that we want, and in turn, we give you our time. You trade our time for money. And if you were to pay me, if you were to pay Orpheus, if you were to pay any of these other athletes, and you were to find a way to give them money, I guarantee you could get closer with them than if you didn't. Because a lot of these athletes, it used to be a beautiful thing. And because calisthenics has become like more of a monetary type thing, like a marketing type machine, because it's been getting so much bigger, a lot of people are selling programs and courses, which I have nothing wrong with, but it's a little bit upsetting that you used to be able to text someone like Zlat, or be able to text Philip Soley, or be able to text all these advanced guys just on Instagram, and they would actually reply to you. Now you get responses like, I explained this in my paid program. If you're interested in joining, here's the link. Which is a little bit unfortunate, but that's kind of how it works. If you can pay the person, then I guarantee you they will more than want to give you value in return. Final note, guys who are looking into starting street lifting or looking into a free community, I may have one like linked in the description, I'm not sure yet, but guys who are looking to have like a brotherhood and to meet people and get a chance to talk to me or Orpheus and be able to be a part of their calls that we've had, like the one you watched previously in this video, go to the first or second link in the description. His community is called Calisthenics. It'll be in the description. It'll say like Orpheus's program or Orpheus's program free, something along those lines. And it'll teach you how to go from literally 0 all the way up to 150 kilo pull up, dip, and squat total within, I think it's 90 or 120 days that he has it. Guys who want more on skills and programming and want more like one-on-one access with me specifically, I have my paid program, which goes over like a ton of stuff and has courses and calls and all that constantly added. Itching my balls. Anyways, I have a ton of stuff on there, how to go from 0 to 70 handstand push-ups, how to learn like crazy explosive, crazy clean muscle-ups, how to go from 0 pull-ups all the way up to weighted pull-ups with 30 to 40% of your body weight, how to program, how I program, how you can teach others how to program, all that type of stuff. Bonus lectures where I go over like more self-improvement-y mindset type things that are going to boost your progress and boost other aspects of your life other than just calisthenics, which I don't put on the internet just because I want my boys to have a little bit of an unfair advantage towards everyone else. That's been everything. My name has been Brandon. Again, my paid program, first link in the description, Orpheus is free community, second link in the description. That's been everything. Keep doing the best of doing your best. Trust God. Signing off.